Hello, beautiful souls made of love and light. Today, I bring you feeling, emotions, and healing the heart complex. Welcome to another session dedicated to prayer. Today, I am presenting another healing session where you heal yourself. I just deliver guidelines for you beautiful souls to create your own prayer. You can use this prayer for your healing journey. In this case, do not see me as a human being, but rather see me as a multidimensional being, a messenger that comes to deliver a sweet message of healing. In this case, healing the heart complex. This body of work has been put together thanks to a channeled transmission from Ra. It happens every week, and I will say that I just wrote this beginning text. All the rest is Ra, God, World, Creation, Christus, Memory Collectives, guiding me to the Ascension Glossary. Once there, on the Ascension Glossary, we start a conversation on the most pressing issues that are affecting the communities of people wanting to truly awaken for their true natural power of creation, like good creator beings they are. I place emphasis on the community of people without pointing fingers nor groups, all that are ready to engage fully in the ascension process and heal themselves and others, ready to engage in the processes of healing. In my case, I get in touch with multiple higher frequency collectives serving the Law of One and the Emerald Order, who are stationed in the Ra, R-H-A, God World, not Ra, R-A. Therefore, let me introduce this new concept to all of you listening or reading to this body of work. You can get more details in the Ascension Glossary pages. The triad of the 16D, 17D, and 18D source fields have been anchored onto the planet through Stargate hubs and organic chakra flowering systems, which are portal passages from the God worlds and are the means through which God forces are manifesting the God world Trinity in this density. This has highlighted the immense pleasure of being reunited with the Ra God world creation of the Amethyst Order and Violet Flame, Yanas and Ramayanas. The Amethyst Order, Ra Christus collectives are also referred to as the Amethyst Dragon Kings, who are contacting the Amethyst Order lineages through our universal time matrix to begin transmissions of the Violet Flame, God Seed Crystal, and support the Holy Father Principle healing the crystal heart matrix of the planetary system. This dispensation of the code of the Violet Sun is sourcing from the Cosmic Holy Father and cosmic Holy Mother, unified creations in the God worlds, which allow for all genetic lineages in our time matrix to have the opportunity to rehabilitate into the many possible pathways to ascension. This solar light coding generates another level of support for the hosting portal passages in trans-time continuum, which open corridors through which we can navigate our return back into our true spiritual source family and spiritual home. With the reunification made with the Amethyst Order God World creation, recently the 15D Amethyst Order template for the Violet Flame holders has been rehabilitated with Violet Sun or Amethyst Sun code transmissions, in which the Violet Flame holders are embodying newly corrected masculine principle rod coding. This has had significant impacts to the entire violet ray energy current system and has made architectural corrections to some of the fallen timelines in which recollection of the Magi Grail King identities that were lost during the Atlantean cataclysm was finally made possible. This event brings forth the importance of focusing upon the alignment of the masculine principles, higher heart center, and the violet flame magic ground light body connections made directly with the Holy Father. This allows the heart, brain, and emotional body layers to connect directly with the soul monadic matrix and then activate the permanent seed atom to express the new feedback loop of source field connection. This is to restore the higher heart-based consciousness of the benevolent Magi Grail Kings to awaken into their Christus mission and help to synthesize the original 12 tribe genetics into sacred marriage with God, unifying the universal tribal shield under their directed leadership. The dispensation of the Holy Father's grace upon those He blesses to defend all life on the earth in His name includes the emanation of the Christus Sophia scepter of God power and the cosmic amethyst order magic crown, which bears the spiritual home signature of the amethyst order God world creation. This week, we have chosen the healing of the heart complex. It will be a journey around feelings, emotions, and to how best use your heart complex to create a safe space in order to deal with all this sea of emotions that can literally overwhelm even the sanest of individuals, because the SODAC system of domination and control is getting enraged and playing all their little tricks to compress and usurp people's natural power of creation. Literally, I am sensing the fear of the general population and how this population thinks they cannot do anything more than die and reborn anew in some other place where they can get a life of peace. That's why Ra guided me to heal my own heart with this session, because this session is not only for you, dear ones. First, this session is for me, and I am working with it during an entire week, listening to myself several times a day. It involves me putting the text together, testing recordings, listening to the several tests, in this case, more than 6 tests. I let you know this because this is giving me a lot of work to put together, because I am also in a process of moving from one house to another. It feels like going from one timeline to another, completely different, and I can't get the enough focus to read it properly. Let's say I am getting lost in some parts, because I am not all there myself. This is very important, and not just to say something. The truth is, these sessions are energetic healing work, and to do so, one needs to have a safe place and time to dedicate to the healing. Without focus and attention, one gets lost in the words and the healing is not effective. Even for me, that each day I practice many different methods. Integrate that you need time and space to dedicate to healing. You can be outside in a park listening to the session. It's not an issue as long as you are putting attention into the session. It can be quite amusing to watch all of life unfolding in front of your eyes while you enjoy your meditation with open eyes, affecting the reality around you in real time. With this being said, I think we can now jump into this long healing session. Let's start by looking at the key words. Ascension Glossary. Emotional healing. Psycho-emotional. Perceiving emotional sensations. How is emotional trauma treated? Prayer and meditation. Prayer. Group prayers. Higher sensory perception exercise. Energetic synthesis core triad. Discipline your mind. Crystal Aegis. Loving kindness meditation. Heart chakra affirmation revocation. Return to rightful owner command. Yes. It seems there are just too many points to heal one small part of ourselves, which is our heart complex. Sometimes I wish that things could be easier, and they are, but not this one. This is for people dedicated and committed to everyday healing the heart in order to become more loving to yourselves and others. From this point forward and backwards, take what resonates with you and discard all that doesn't resonate with you. Let us begin. Opening. Dial up. Beloved God, in pure love, open all channels of light, clear all light fibers to be fully connected and resonant with the eternal living light code. Set space. We call upon our group avatar, God selves, the guardians Aurora families, and Guardian Mentor Band. The Crystal Star Matrix aligned to the Love One mission to work together for the highest capacity of exchange of God's infinite light, love, and power in divine right order and harmony. Ascension Glossary. This site is the work of Liza Renee. Welcome to the Ascension Glossary. This glossary is constantly being expanded by Liza Renee with new definitions. This site is part of the projects at Energetic Synthesis, which also includes Crystal Aegis and ES Foundations. Discovering and exploring this spiritual path is not for the faint of heart, and it may be difficult to navigate, as it will require discernment of those spiritually positive teachings and practices versus those teachings that are tainted with human negative ego for the purpose of controlling and subjugating humanity. Therefore, the suggestion is to go very slow, pace yourself, and allow for room for deep contemplation, inner reflection, and meditation. I would suggest using the search functions to explore the meaning in contrast with previous learnings. And although the glossary is not complete, it has a vast amount of information for context of terms such as Godhead, Christus, Guardian Yeshua, Church of Rome, Essenes, Nicene Creed, Book of Revelation, Armageddon, Software, Violent Religions, Negative Alien Agenda, Crucifixion Implants, etc. Please be aware that we share details about non-human entities and their dark powers, how these entities sought to control humanity through organized religion, and thus this is very controversial and can be scary. It is important to develop personal integrity and ethical conduct so you are not used as a pawn in the mind control game. To do so, you must educate yourself on the war over consciousness to sharpen your mental and emotional discipline and avoid being manipulated. Those who do not understand the nature of reality or how the darkness works to exploit your weaknesses will fail. We must address this challenge with some degree of patience, diligence, and maturity. So power up your armor of God, feel into your heart, and go slow. For more, see the collective awakening event. Creating awareness by merging concepts and basic principles of creation. Let's see what comes out of this brainstorm. Emotional healing. It is only possible to engage with emotional healing once we have achieved greater levels of self-awareness, which is the fruit of dedicated self-inquiry. The process of becoming aware of our emotional triggers and sourcing the real cause of emotional pain is made through self-observation and increased self-awareness through dedicated observation of the self and gradually discerning between these functioning aspects of the mind. One can attain the direct experience of the consciousness they are. The still point of which this consciousness connects into the parts of our mind is that which forms all of our thoughts, emotions, experiences that direct us through life. Through observation and self-inquiry, we become aware of the contents of our psychological and emotional patterns of behavior. Psycho-emotional. Psycho-emotional is to describe any kind of psychological interaction one may have with their inner feelings or expressed emotions. Most people will experience a quality of feeling emotions that are first generated from the quality of their thoughts. The context and value of those thoughts are held in the person's belief system and dictate the quality of emotion and behavior that is expressed. So it is important to be aware of what kind of emotions we feel when we are thinking a certain thought or connecting to a certain event or a person. After we are able to witness the psychological interplay with our emotional relationship to any kind of internal or external stimulus, then we begin to see the connections that are made between our thoughts and feelings. This allows us to gain the next stage of self-awareness, which is to then source the thought and decide what value or context we want to assign to it. This is what underlies our belief systems and is responsible for our inner motivation that shapes our outer behavior and actions. When we develop and improve our psycho-emotional awareness through observation, we are capable of making changes to our mental state and unconscious mind. At the same time, we are observing it. Changes to our mental state and inner thoughts impact our outward behavior and our physical actions. This shifts how we respond to our environment and how we interact within every relationship and social settings. Perceiving emotional sensations. Now imagine that you are feeling a range of emotions with no sense of their origin, and that you are not sure what thoughts these emotional sensations are actually sourcing from. Spontaneously, there are feeling emotions arising in your body, and they may overcome your awareness so that you pay close attention to them. Sometimes, this can feel like a wave of emotion that came out of nowhere and filled your body with a certain sensation. These are days when we may wake up from bed feeling sad or heavy or feeling light and happy with no direct reason. When we are more developed with emotional sensing, we can easily identify our feelings in the moment. We can sense the energy behind words, and we can sense the feeling, emotions of others, such as sensing negative emotions in ourselves and other people with a feeling of sharpness, heavy density, drudgery, broken glass, slime, or weaponry, or sensing positive emotions in ourselves and others may feel buoyant, easy, relaxed, flowing, expansive, and harmonious. These emotional animations can be sensed in the body from the instinctual mind, also known as the pain body, or we can experience higher emotions that may be sensed from within the heart center. Many times, we are sensing the collective consciousness emotional body of the human race, or we may be sensing the larger movements and transitions that are occurring to the planetary body during the ascension cycle. Further still, sometimes we may be receiving mind control transmissions that are broadcast into the ELF airwaves from many different technological devices and the mainstream media. The body will automatically react to these electromagnetic currents of neurological mind control, or sense the changes occurring to the magnetic movement of the Earth body, even when there is no conscious thought form present. Many people on the Earth at this time have trouble expressing what they are actually feeling inside their body. Try to give words to what you are feeling and sensing, even if it does not make sense to your logical mind. Bring the feeling into a symbol you can work with to identify what it is. Once we are able to develop deeper awareness of what kind of sensation we are feeling inside our body and ask to track where these thoughts and feelings are actually sourcing from, they become much easier to identify. Once they are identified, we can choose to remove and repair them, clear them from impacting our body and consciousness negatively. We are unable to clear collective consciousness negativity or planetary mind control transmissions until we can discern what it is and can assign a quality of feeling or identify the energy vibration that our body is picking up. Currently, there is a lot of emotional trauma surfacing in the collective consciousness body of humanity and the Earth, and many people are picking up that trauma and feeling it personally. How is emotional trauma treated? To overcome emotional triggering and the replaying of trauma patterns, it is necessary to discharge, disable, and eliminate negative internal thought forms and prevent new ones from forming. There are ways of healing emotional wounds and getting rid of self-defeating subconscious mind programming that generate negative internal thought forms. While methods vary in complexity and efficiency, the basic idea comes down to finding an internal thought form and discharging the emotional content by consciously replaying the associated false perceptions and emotions and realizing that the perceptions were false and replacing them with a new realization that is closer to the truth. Find the false perception or fear, discharge the narrative and emotion associated, and replace with a positive and loving thought, form, and emotion. Preventing negative internal thought forms from accumulating is a matter of changing and transforming any negative emotional energy that is being accumulated as you observe the process as it happens through self-awareness. Prayer and meditation. Prayer and meditation connects us to higher intelligence and have positive impacts on calming our mind and clearing negative emotions. Prayer focuses on positive emotions like love, gratitude, and compassion, which allow goodness in our lives and the life of those we pray for. Meditation reduces anxiety, stress, and depression, which help us find and connect to peaceful states. Being mindful improves our mental flexibility, brain elasticity, and keeps neurons active while helping to keep the brain activity more balanced. Spiritually centering ourselves on peace, prayer, and contemplation of God and the universe helps us maintain our trust in life, faith, and relaxes every part of the body, mind, and spirit. What is most important now is to relax the body and mind through daily meditation and to clear negative ego, emotional pain, and stay calm and neutral. Pure alchemy exists within the energetic balance of the core spiritual essence, within the natural state of the divine being. Ask God, or your highest expression of God, to help heal emotional trauma in your pain body and to show you the best way to heal emotional trauma. To connect with inner spiritual alchemy, one must extract the artificial machinery influences and intentionally remove the houses of ego, reptilian, or predator mind that may have been programmed within the self as we are opening into states of accessing higher consciousness. Consider to conceive of unity consciousness through meditation by expansion of space and intending to connect within infinity in time. In meditation, we may focus upon perpetual presence in all time and space, timelessness, perpetual presence in dreaming and waking states combining into oneness, in accessing memory of perpetual presence or timelessness, all dread vanishes. Attempt to reach neutrality in mind towards all existing things. Neutrality is neither love, hate, nor indifference. Hold mentally the capacity of sameness, equilibrium, and constant calm and peace. This discipline attracts and increases the virtues of the spirits of Christ. This acquires the virtue of benevolence towards all things. Seek improvement in one's humanity and spiritual expression without praise or blame or needing emotional dramas of the victim victimizer archetypes. Prayer. Prayer and meditation connects us to higher intelligence and have positive impacts on calming our mind. Prayer focuses on positive emotions like love, gratitude, and compassion, which allow goodness in our lives and the life of those we pray for. Meditation reduces anxiety, stress, and depression, which help us to find and connect to peaceful states. Being mindful improves our mental flexibility, brain elasticity, and keeps neurons active. Spiritually centering ourselves on peace, prayer, and contemplation of God, universe, helps us maintain our trust in life, faith, and relaxes every part of the body. Prayer may be done privately and individually, or it may be done in the presence of fellow believers. The power of prayer is to be a vessel for the will to goodness. Prayer can be incorporated into a daily thought process in which one is in constant communication with God. Many people pray through all that is happening during the day and seek guidance as the day progresses. Prayer is personal and intimate for each individual. Group prayers. During certain periods of time, there are sequences in the time field which influence the instruction set in the collective energy fields consciousness of the planet. When we unify as a group, we have extra accumulative consciousness power which can be gathered and applied for the intention of service to the earth, as well as to serve the highest expression of our spiritual being. Thus, we have a powerful intention when working to diffuse mind control fear programs used on the earth to suppress consciousness. If you are guided to participate with a group intention, it is powerful to dedicate your prayer and intention to a specific issue, such as friends and family, a group of people such as children, or a demographic land area, an earth kingdom, plant or animals that you personally feel a direct connection towards. You will be able to direct God guardian forces to that person, place, or planetary position. At this time, it is suggested to reflect and gather our group consciousness light to be of service to humanity for planetary freedom and planetary peace. Healing our heart. Preserving and healing our heart may be a uniquely different process for each person. However, the main purpose is to give personal meditative attention in better sensing our heart's inner messages in order to restore a flow of loving energy in our lives and achieve overall energetic balance. The human heart is an energy harmonizer and naturally restores balance throughout the bodily systems when we learn how to balance the feeling sensations of the heart with the belief systems of the mind. Sensing our heart means that we are paying attention to our inner feelings, emotions, and needs, while sensing the natural rhythms and discovering the deeper dimensions of our multidimensional heart. When our heart has been closed, it is usually the result of previous trauma and pain that we had suffered during childhood and carried as miasmatic imprints that were unresolved from other lifetimes. In order to open our heart, we will need to be willing to face any buried and unresolved pain, facing the shadows we carry, which may include emotions like sadness, grief, and despair. As mentioned, when we begin to crack through the energetic barrier that was surrounding our pericardium and heart, we will feel the emotional depth of our soul wounds, the betrayals, the abandonment, and the pain. This is the quintessential dark night of the soul. However, it is important to remember that when you are undergoing this difficult stage of healing the heart, that you are surfacing all that has been unspoken and unheard to be witnessed, and that out of these powerful feelings and deep-seated grief will come spiritual strength and renewal that will be worth it all. Practicing compassion for self and forgiveness for others, working on feelings of empathy are ways of developing art-based qualities that help us work through powerful and intense emotions. These are the beginning stages of intending to spiritually heal and open up our arts on the earth. We can discover self-acceptance and find joy, feel reverence for, and take pleasure in the simplest things in life. Here are some factors to support creating a peaceful oasis for ourselves even when exposed to the forces of chaos during the planetary shift. Address mental noise, excessive mental chatter, negative self-talk, and playing out archetypes of drama generates imbalances throughout our body and places energy blocks around the heart. In order to regain energetic balance within all of the main four bodily systems, we must be able to sit quietly and still our mind. This begins with learning about the negative ego and learning how to control impulses and quiet the mind through meditation or breath work. To heal and open our sacred heart, we must clear negative ego, reduce mental noise, and outer distractions. See, where can I start? Forgiveness. To clear out the pericardium shield and related energy blockages from around our heart complex, many times we will need to forgive ourselves and others. To forgive another person or circumstance is the most generous thing we can do for ourselves. When we forgive others for perceived transgressions, it frees us from the bonds, entanglements, and cords which manifest peaceful patterns, which manifest painful patterns such as judgments, resentments, and anger. Letting go. For many people that undergo deeply shocking or hard emotional challenges, such as ending relationships, this can give rise to deep negative emotions like anger, resentments, and bitterness that block us from moving forward in life. The pain of such events can make us suffer from a broken heart, which has both physical and energetic impacts to closing down our heart. If we can look at life as many lessons in which we are learning to become spiritually whole, the sensation of a broken heart provides the opportunity to explore more of the dimensions of our inner selves by being present in the moment and surrendering to the now. Judgments and future expectations of others are completely dissolved. Let it all go. Discernment. If we act recklessly by making quick and careless decisions based on lower impulses, this interferes with good decision making by impairing our discernment. We must grow in spiritual maturity to be able to discern what is in alignment for them personally, without judgment and without concern for what others may think of your choices. As you allow yourself to be who you really are as an embodiment of soul-purposed truth, you will allow others to be exactly who they need to be. Take inventory. When we are feeling unhappy about the current conditions in our lives, it is time to restore energetic balance by taking inventory. What are you doing in your life now that brings you meaningful connection, fulfillment, and feelings of joy in the moment? If we look to others to give us permission or rely on relationships or external events in order to experience love and happiness, this sets us up to fail. When we focus only on the external to make us happy, this is based on temporary conditions. Thus, we are distracting ourselves from hearing the real messages that come from inside our hearts. Create priorities. Once we have taken inventory and listened to our heart for more clarity on what generates meaningful connections and increased loving feelings, we will want to apply our newfound awareness to co-create a healthier lifestyle and more balanced relationships. If we are too serious and in work mode too much of the time, without playfulness and humor, this also generates imbalances which shuts down our heart. We must re-evaluate our commitments in life to reduce stress and seek to remove any areas where obligations or negative interactions are no longer supporting a more natural flow in our life. When we are in energetic balance with ourselves, we are in balance with our spiritual self, our heart, and we cease to have greater personal turmoil or suffering. This is the path to becoming increasingly healthy and peaceful. HSP exercise. One may not experience true states of higher sensory perception in the love or emotional spectrums until they begin to connect with their soul matrix bodies or have been able to experience a loving and open heart center, fourth chakra, with their soul spirit connection. This soul connection is what enables the development of higher sensory perception. One cannot develop the feeling sensory body, its receivers and transmitters, which allow for the development of telepathy and cellular cognition without having an open heart and the ability to feel deeply. In order to practice development of HSP, learn to communicate with your heart and soul. Asking yes or no. When we are learning to communicate with our inner self, we begin by asking our body a simple question which requires a yes or no answer in return. The body is its own intelligence and has its own wisdom. When we are developing higher sensory ability, it is important to pay attention to how you feel and how your body responds to certain energies, vibrations, and questions. In developing this technique, this is our suggestion. Close your eyes and clasp your hands and palms together in prayer position. Breathe in and focus on your heart. Try to imagine the door of your heart opening as you ask to speak to your soul. In your inner vision, ask your inner spirit that resides in your heart the question. Ask a simple yes or no question. When you ask the question, you may also see the item visually and place it in front of your heart to get the feeling of your heart's response. Remember, there is no good or bad or right or wrong answer. You are learning how to discern what is best for you directly and not to judge any response or reaction. When we feel a response that is aligned to us personally, it will feel affirming, positive, necessary, and open. This is a response that is summed up as yes. When we feel a response that is not aligned to us personally, it will feel heavy, negative, oppressive, closed, or like bad energy. This response is summed up as no. As you build your higher sensory ability through practice with this technique, your skill will improve. Any technique, when practiced, is like building your spiritual muscle. It gets easier for you to feel discernment and to feel aligned to what is positive for your soul growth. When you get good at listening to your inner spirit, your life becomes synchronistic. As you experience more life synchronicities, you will find you are always led to be in the right place for you. ES Core Triad. The core practices that are learned in the energetic synthesis community are to protect the human aura from high-risk behaviors, some of which are being promoted in many New Age materials that encourage channeling and astral projection without any type of learned psychic self-defense. Expanding consciousness is all about training the mind. The many free foundation materials such as the 12D Shield, the Psychic Defense, the Psychic Self-Defense series, and the Ascension materials are designed to re-educate humans to access the higher truth of the current agendas on the planet Earth. Through being informed, one is empowered to consciously participate with personal spiritual growth, expanding consciousness and cultivating energetic discernment through increased higher sensory perception. The controllers do not want this knowledge to spread, therefore, they spread all methods to discredit and dismiss the information. We realize that there is so much variety in the individual ascension stages, and our material compiled here may be overwhelming to navigate. So please take in only what feels right for you and discard the rest. We have some quick suggestions on how to begin right now. Take a 30-day challenge with the 12D Shield and refocusing your ego mind and see the results you get with daily use. The following is important information and steps to introduce you to the ES material and provide tools to utilize right away. Please browse and try out all the material as you feel guided. However, please take note, the Ascension material is densely packed with information and often overwhelming for people newly acquainted with these terms. Take it in at your own pace. However, remain consistent and dedicated with your practice, and you will experience many improvements, such as in mental and emotional freedom. So please activate your 12D Shield as a daily practice meditation. Clear negative ego fear programs. Mental discipline through devoted focus and meditation to expand consciousness. Resolve emotional conflicts in the pain body. ES Core Triad Daily Techniques. All of these steps are a part of committing to the ES Core Triad practices every day. Discipline your mind. Consistent meditation practice is helpful in training an undisciplined mind to develop higher consciousness and finding inner peace. Meditation can be applied in many different techniques and is helpful for facilitating forgiveness and letting go of negativity in many forms. In the early stages of developing meditation skills, sit and relax and learn to observe thoughts passing through without having attachments to them. Once you notice the thought pattern, let it go and bring your focus back to the now moment. Crystal Aegis. The Crystal Aegis Guardian Host Program was born out of the many requests for help received from people who are struggling to free themselves from looping negative thoughts, looping negative emotions or impulses towards addictions and other destructive behaviors which are considered normal in the current worldscape. Shadows are only powerful when they remain hidden and buried, as the shadow masquerades in falsity that uses fear to torment us with lies. Be brave to reveal them and replace them in order to connect with your real spiritual self, the eternal self, as I am God, I am sovereign, I am free. The Crystal Aegis practice's purpose is to become in alignment with our true inner spiritual nature. As with any complex and precision instrument, our beings require calibration. As of January 2013, our planet has shifted not only in vibration but in the core energetic structure, which is also referred as planetary hosting. The crystal host is now making changes within the core frequency structures, as well as the instruction set on our planet, which has great impacts upon our physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. These core tones are Karaya Sata Allah. Daily declaration of intention. Resolve the authority problem between ego and God. My declaration of intention is to serve my source. I commit to serve my highest power, fully, completely, and totally. I am God, I am sovereign, I am free. The first stage in working with the 12D shield is to achieve the following personal results: to fortify and strengthen our aura and energy field by reconnecting to the Oversoul Matrix and the 12D blueprint, to learn energetic boundaries of our aura and to be able to boundary test discordant energies that are uninvited, to re-imprint the body to physical sustainability and wealth achieved by energetic balance, to allow communication links to be restored with spiritual forces and star families, to begin a process of reawakening dormant energy receivers and or repairing damaged genetic imprints, to empower ourselves to reawaken to our true origin, including decoding light language and the hidden history of the human race. After this has been practiced with commitment and dedication on a regular basis, new levels of awareness will begin to emerge. Let this express itself freely, and do your best to allow and do not place judgment on any experiences you may have. All of us are unique and may have different variations of experiences, depending on your soul gene code, lineage, and willingness to be rehabilitated for service to others orientation. You may find after a certain time of working with this technique, that you are called to the second stages of building and working with larger fields of 12 dimensional energy. A certain level of personal light integrity must be stabilized in order to be effective to work with the larger 12 dimensional vortexes. The 12D vortex fields are extremely effective at harmonizing personal environments and stabilizing energies such as planetary grid lines. Working to harmonize energy spaces is the next stage of working with the 12D fields of energy. You can also think of this 12D energy in its platinum color as the cosmic Christ frequency. Still, it is a good mental focus technique to practice daily your 12-dimensional divine light shield, which is necessary to prepare your aura and for the neurological entrainment of our nervous system, and to be receptive for the huge influx of higher frequencies during the ascension cycle. Loving kindness meditation. Practicing loving kindness meditations activate and strengthen areas of the brain and nervous system that are responsible for empathy and increased emotional intelligence. The practice always begins with developing a loving acceptance of yourself. If resistance is experienced, then it indicates that feelings of unworthiness are present. The practice of loving kindness is designed to overcome any feelings of self-doubt or negativity. Once you have developed this loving kindness for yourself, then you are ready to systematically develop loving kindness towards others. Visualization. Bring to mind a mental picture that exudes loving kindness and brings warmth to your heart. Visualize yourself or the person the feeling is directed towards, returning the loving feeling to you, or just the shared feeling of being joyous. Through reflection, reflect on the highest and most positive qualities of a person you know, and the acts of kindness you are aware of. Make an affirmation towards generating more of these positive qualities in yourself, more goodness and strong virtues. Reflect upon making positive statements of kindness directed to yourself using your own words. Verbally, when we speak inspiring words or phrases which contain the meaning of loving kindness, they are the most effective because the subconscious mind hears them in your voice. Focus on an internalized mantra or meaningful phrase such as loving kindness and God sovereign free. When the positive feeling arises, switch from the mental focus of the exercise onto the actual emotional feeling, as it is the emotional feeling that is the primary goal. If you lose the sensation of the loving kindness, the feeling and warmth opening in your heart, return to the exercise to bring back or strengthen the emotional feeling. When you have the loving kindness feeling in your heart, you can project that quality of frequency in all directions, north, south, east and west, in 360 degrees, connecting that emotional feeling of loving kindness into loved ones, spiritual communities, towns, and countries around the world. When we are emotionally developed with heart-based intelligence, we can access a very high quality of higher sensory perception to guide us through these very difficult times. This guidance cannot happen through the psionic ability of the mind. Starseed males, please take note. You must connect emotionally and allow sensory feelings to be processed in your heart complex in order to shift out of the negative ego, black depression, and mind control thought forms. This higher consciousness access only happens through the developed heart and emotional complex, which is the key to accessing higher spiritual power and higher consciousness. The NAA and controllers do not have this access, so remember that this is our greatest leverage as star seeds. We have access to the God Source and Creator functions through our heart, where they can only replicate them through their artificial intelligence software by cloning or capturing our image. Do not forget that our spiritual power is infinitely connected through our human heart consciousness and connects omniversally. Thank you, guardians. Thank you, higher self. Thank you, God. And thank you all for listening, reading to this beautiful journey into who we are. Let's close and end with a meditation now that we are prepared for it, and it is a nice way to establish bonds of love and co-creation between us all. Heart Chakra Affirmation Revocation. I, Rafael Ferreira, in this ever-present moment of now, choose to engage in the creation of sacred space within my heart center that surrounds the entirety of my being, physically and non-physically, with unconditional love, joy, and gratitude. I call to the steady drum of Mother Earth's heartbeat. I call to the sacred directions and the ancestors of this land to stand in resolution and resolve with Earth Mother. I offer my heart's truth through these words of prayer to the alchemical fires of creation, to be transmuted and transformed for the highest healing benefit of all. I choose in this moment to recognize the divine alive in my heart. I cast aside all that distracts my mind from being fully focused and grounded in my heart center, where the trueness of each moment can be felt. I choose to fully engage with my heart center now and give my full attention to the one always within me, guiding me faithfully to enter my inner sanctuary and return home, heartbeat by heartbeat. May I have faith in my heart's journey. May I surrender doubt, uncertainty, and fear to the fires of love with trust, devotion, and wisdom. May I treat myself with more kindness, compassion, forgiveness, and gentleness than ever before. May I honor my heart and speak to him fondly and reassure him no matter how he feels that I am devoted to Him first and foremost. May each word I speak drip honey onto your wounds, heart, healing you of all betrayals, judgments, and cruelties. May I empower myself with my own love and devotion to open to life and receive. O sacred temple at the core of my being, you are the citadel at which I devote my nurturance, nourishment, and direct my love and service. O heart, you are wise and steadfast, committed to your goal of bringing nourishment and life force to all fibers and cells of my being. Thank you. I am grateful for your strength and your softness. I am grateful for you for giving me the opportunity to feel and experience all emotions, from sorrow and grief to joy and bliss. Thank you for all the times you have broken and guided me to receive the gifts of endings, beginnings, and initiation. I devote myself to tending your heart fires through following my passion, engaging in ecstatic prayer, and fortifying unconditional love in my reality through discernment, compassion, and the recognition of the divine heart in all. I am of service to you, dear heart, first and foremost. I choose you as you are in this moment and allow you the fullness of your expression. May you flow, feel, and heal as you expand the horizons of worthiness, value, and forgiveness. Open and humble to Earth Mother's guidance to anchor the experience of heaven on this earth through the portal of your grace. And so it is. Return to rightful owner is a command by divine right of all beings in universal law to have their consciousness, memories, and light body parts to be returned to them in the event it has been hijacked or stolen by negative forces in current or previous timelines. RRO. In your mind or out loud as you feel guided, please repeat this command. As the 12D Avatar and the light of God that I am, I cancel all contracts and or agreements that I have made with any entity, guide in this timeline or in any reality that were not in my highest alignment and expression of my light source in the Law of One. I terminate all false matrices or illusions that may have obscured my highest God purpose and soul mission. From the past, present, and future, I terminate redemptive vehicle and crucifixion contracts and their related phantom systems from impacting my consciousness and all of my 12 bodies. I further declare that the cancellation of all such contracts is to be irrevocable and permanent in all time frames and realities. Furthermore, I ask my avatar to return all unity codes, the fire letters, and the jewels, wings, energies, and parts of bodies that have been misdirected or usurped, and ask to return them now to the rightful owner in the name of self-sovereignty, higher and stated and commanded into presence now. I invalidate the beings by commanding a full dissolution and dissolve them into the one source, God Source Light, through the eternal love of forgiveness and forgetfulness. Completely heal and seal my personal auric field from any further intrusion. Return all energies and essences that are in divine right order now. I call back now all that is myself, sovereign, God power and right. I choose my perfection to stand in the eternal light and represent my full sovereignty and freedom for all human beings on this planet. I receive this gift now as I will share this gift with all. All is one with the light. I am unity, beloved God. Thank you. I serve the law of one, and I am the cosmic sovereign law made manifest. I state my intention of sovereignty. I harmonize and hold this space in the name of one self, God Self. As witness to one, I seal my declaration into the light of union and wholeness in service to the one self. Please take my agreements into completion through the outer levels, mind grid, DNA, karmic contract, core soul level, and beyond. Take this and record it through the morphogenetic field and subtle energy systems, all levels and components of our group being, fully, completely, totally and permanently. Anchor, lock and seal through the hologram. Anchor, lock and seal through the time matrix. Beloved family, I thank you for this opportunity. I open to all processes required to align fully to my highest soul purposes. It is with great joy and reverence that I am home in the light. And so it is. I seal and end this request in prayer into the light of wholeness and union with one God Source. Thank you. Thank you for your time. It is incredible you got this far. Please say to you, thank you, for I am able to dedicate time to healing my heart in order to feel quality, feelings, emotions based on true heart-space truth. Rejoice in the knowingness that you are God, sovereign, and free souls incarnated on earth to have this mystical life experience of being rooted in a vegetable body on this precious Mother Earth planet. This is the result of a good session to entrain the mind, totally channeled, using some basic concepts, principles, and tools of the Ascension Glossary, plus the heart chakra affirmation revocation is from a good friend called Marissa Funger. And I am Ra, the Yellow Crystal Warrior Kin, the Pathfinder. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is that we are home. Home, home. This planet, Mother Earth, is home. We are home.